Bonjour. Welcome to 6 of the best. This week, 6 more comics that have impressed me. One of them, I'm sorry for this, I know I'm late to the party, but the first one I'm going to kick off with is Manowar. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't get round to this one last week. Damages at the shop, Comics and Fantasy in Hornchurch, Essex. Check them out. But all of theirs was damaged, so they got replacements this week. So I didn't get it. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Avengers War Across Time. This continues to impress me. And it continues to impress me because I'm a geekyOlhog. And it harks back to the 60s Avengers that there wouldn't be films of the Avengers if it wasn't for the stuff that they are reminiscing about, if that makes sense. We wouldn't get them if we hadn't fallen in love with the Avengers at that stage in the 60s and the 70s. We wouldn't have the films now. And I love it for that. And Alan Davis, penciling, inking, drawing, artwork, all down to him. Love it. Another Marvel book. This is, it's in my top 6 for John Romita's artwork. Again, continues to impress after all of these years, but I've included this week because it comes with a little bit of a warning that there's some little alarms going off with this one, but nevertheless did enjoy that, but only for John Romita's artwork, and that's what we're going to look at, so that's good. Mark Millar, Nightclub. Again, for $1.99 for everyone who's doing $7.99 books at the moment, what he gets in that for $2, you should all look and learn, without a doubt. Another Image book, Mad Ghost, the Mad Ghost imprint of Blood Tree. I've been enjoying this more and more and more. It is basically, I'm going to say it's basically X-Files. It's basically Mulder and Scully, and I'm not saying that in a detrimental way. I'm really, really enjoying it. The artwork style, I'm kind of getting more and more used to, because I think I've done issue 1 of that, where I said I'm loving the story, but the artwork not so much. But I've got to admit, and that doesn't mean that it's bad art. It just means that at the beginning I didn't think it matched the story. But everything's coming together, and that's just a nice. It's just a nice book. And all right, come at me, because if it wasn't for Man of War, Liam Sharp from last week, do you know what? I would be making this my comic of the week again. Sorry, guys, but I would. I just think that Silvestri is on the form of his life, and again we're going to look at his black and just his pencil and inks at the end of this book, and what a beautiful artist the guy is becoming. Not that he was crap to begin with, but how his style was developed over the years. And what a sensational book that is. And I do demand an oversized graphic novel of this with extra artwork and just extras in the back. I demand it. An absolute edition of this. Oh my God. That size, this artwork. Yeah. Anyway. That's all I've got for the intro. Let's get into it after the scroll. Right, okay, guys. So, like I say, apologies for the delay. of having a good close-up on Liam Sharp, Exo Manowar. Listen, I remember all the Valiant books from the first time round, so, you know, this is a kind of harkback, but if you were a fan of Starhenge, you're gonna love Liam Sharp on this. Look. Now, I don't know if I have to explain the origins of Exo Manowar. It's basically a suit of armour. This is a guy, what's his name, Eric, from our past, imbued with a suit of armour from the future, and his science fiction exploits from there. And basically, an alien race is after this suit of armour that Eric is wearing, which is the Exo Manowar suit of armour. And what all that does is allow us to is to just enjoy, bask in the glory of Liam Sharp's artwork. Look at this stuff, and it is it is hardcore science fiction, and that's what I love about it. That's what I love about it. It's ancient alien races. It's alien empires. It's got a fantasy element in it, obviously, because he's a warrior from England's, not just Earth's, but England's. Look at this beautiful, several galaxies away when they're after him. And you've got this sorceress, she's working for this alien race that's after the armour. But the armour is at one with Eric. And that's where the story's gonna come from. But you know, they kind of had me at hello with this kind of stuff because I love it. I love this sci-fi stuff. But the story is a good one, and it will only pick up pace. As an issue 1, this was a wonderful drop into the entire. I liked it because I hadn't read Valiant comics for probably 15 years, maybe more, and I certainly haven't read any Exo Manowar in a long. Well, since then I haven't read any Exo Manowar. I kind of picked up these books back when they was first released in the 90s and stuff. But look at this stuff. Look, what he's getting involved in, Liam Sharp. Wonderful cover for issue 2 as well. So that, I hope I've sold that one to you. I hope I've sold it because it's Liam Sharp. Enough said. Right, and I know I've done this one before, but like I said in my introduction, if you ever wondered why we fell in love with the Avengers, and Thor isn't on this cover, but if you ever wondered why, Paul Levitz with Alan Davis, they are really weaving they're weaving a story that appeals to my modern sensibilities of what I demand of a comic nowadays. It's nothing. It's not leaving anything behind. It's not asking me to be stupid. And nevertheless, Levitz is bringing such a 60s, such a nostalgic taste to this story, a nostalgic, stuff like this. With Giant Man, you can't, and Wasp, and some of the stuff that it's her idea, and the whole lot of them working as a team. Finally, in issue 4, including Wasp. Here's our villain. He's from Asgard, and he's got it into Thor. Oh, and I just loved seeing this. Old Donald Blake, and he's limping away because, yeah. And if you know the origins of Thor and where he come from, then you know why I love this stuff. And it might be because I am a geeky old hog, but it makes the Avengers sing. It makes these characters, these 4 characters, like where they appear underground to confront the enemy. And they go, look, 2 puny humans there invade. They go, puny? We're not 2 humans. Like, there's 4 of them. Look, he's got Giant Man, Wasp. Are they really Avengers? I just love that. I don't know. Might just be me. Wasp has the idea that, you know, Iron Man can use. Have you got any thermal scanning doohickey in there? Oh, I love it. But it makes them work as a team. The dynamic. Even Giant Man, you know, saying like, just their relationship, just that tiny couple of panels, just these 2 panels here, their relationship is defined for. Yeah, got to admit, I love it. And Alan Davis's artwork, when he's inking his own artwork, I've got to admit, I wasn't sure if I was gonna want him to be inked by someone else like Paul Neary. Back in the day when Alan Davis was when he was at his prime. But I've got to say no. Give me Alan Davis inking Alan Davis. Kane is how he should be. He's just in these 2 pages. He's actually killing all his minions because they dare to kind of speak to him wrong in the wrong tone of voice. And who doesn't love Iron Man in the old costume, Captain America in the old costume, and everything romping along. Look at, you know, stuff like this. You know, I mean, that's out of Brian Hitch's playbook. That panel right there. But Alan Davis has been doing this for decades, and he's properly on form. I love it. So, Avengers, War Across Time, thoroughly recommend. Another Marvel book. Don't get me wrong, I'm not being paid commission by Marvel. So, Zeb Wells. Now, this story has become more interesting because it did hit a bit of a plateau. Let's call it a plateau of storytelling, of interest. A plateau of interest in Peter Parker and MJ. This whole story is a race against time in a way, but there's no countdown. So that's a bit disappointing. And if it wasn't for John Romita's artwork, is Peter Parker running around. Oh, I love this. They get the Fantastic Four in. I don't know whether these are boots or socks or slippers. It just looks like the things in loungewear. Love these Human Torch though. I have got a soft spot for John Romita Jr. This is not his best work, but nevertheless, it is propping up this story, and I'm enjoying it. But all I'm going to say is, right, here's the staples. We're midpoint in this story. He's asking the FF for help, that they won't act quick enough. I get it. I get the gist of this story. He thinks he's escaping Captain America, but good old Cap is saying, no, I'm still on your side, Gov. I'm still on your side. But nevertheless, he can't help. Cap's doing what Captain America does so well. He's saying, I can help you, but it's going to take a little bit of time. And I love the way this was played out. Basically, with old Sticky Fingers grabbing hold of his shield. I love the fact that he just grabbed hold of his shield and pulled it off him. Like, what? Smashed it back in his face. I love that, but it gave him time to take off. He gave him his shield back. Basically, he could have took off with his shield, couldn't he? Very, very, very cool. Now, that's down to Zeb Wells. This is down to John Romita Jr. Right. Now, all I'm going to say is they have really, really got to get on with it now. This should be and could be a tentpole title for Marvel. This is the Amazing Spider-Man, after all. You have got John Romita Jr. on art duties, so he can do anything. I mean, Mr. Fantastic and Mrs. Fantastic, Invisible Girl, do not turn up in this issue. But this is the way to sell a comic, isn't it? Spider-Man in his web with a Fantastic Four. Right, fine. You've got to get on with it now. They have really written. We're on issue 23 now, and I've got to say, after nearly 2 years, not a lot's happened. This is still in my top 6 recommended books, by the way. Zeb Wells, he does know how to tell a story, Zeb, but he's got to get on with it. He can't keep using 6 issues to tell one plot point. He's got to get on with it. He must get on with it, but nevertheless, I'm enjoying it for the time being. Thanks to John Romita Jr. How these guys at Image are doing this for $1.99, I applaud them. And Juanan Ramirez's artwork in this vampire, I have done this before. And how Mark Millar is maintaining such a prolific output, I do not know. We've got all the vampire tropes here now. They've done a good thing. All our vampire heroes that we've, our 4 kids. Now it's all coming out to roost. Like now it's unraveling in the wider world. So he's come out of the ambulance. He's kind of unconscious. The sun's come up. Oh my God, yeah. And they're shooting him as well. He's on fire and they're shooting him. Just great stuff. All his friends, all his cohorts that helped everyone out, they're in the same boat now. They're all getting taken away in ambulances. And what do? Do they give up their identities? Well, they decided, well, no, we're not, but we're going to. Reminded me of the film Ambulance, this scene, actually, if you've ever seen that on Netflix. And now they're getting chased down by the cops. So now they're on the run because it's daylight, it's daytime. And now they've got to drink rat's blood, and he's got the unfortunate thinking, oh, should I drink his blood? Oh, it's like drinking sludge. So Mark Millar is having a ball. He's having a ball with this, and this wonderful. Because what this guy's thinking is, how am I going to escape? And his powers are waning because he hasn't had any blood and all the rest of it. I'm going to drink sludge. Well, he's drunk sludge, and this is again, like I'm saying about the artwork. He's very, very nice. Here's the dude from issue 2. I think it was issue 2. Kind of like the mentor of them all, the stick figure from Daredevil. If you know Daredevil, this is their stick. Bit of swearing. Oh. He's their mentor. So the story has yet to unravel. And leaving it, issue 4 for $1.99. Do you realise how much trouble you're in? Yeah, love it. Another one by Mark Millar. It's such a complicated 4-volume arc at the moment that I don't know where to dive in to recommend it. But just as a little aside, I do recommend it. Anything by Mark Millar at the moment, and the artwork is beautiful. Maybe I'll do it next issue. But I don't know if that convinced you to. It's a teenage vampire romp set in the modern world for $1.99. Much applause for that. Now, Blood Tree. Here we go. Now, this is the one where I said where Maxim Simic's artwork, I was wondering whether it was too cartoony for this story. And this is Mulder and Scully, right? Or the other way around. And they are after a serial killer who dresses up the victims in angel's wings made of feathers. And we've got a little bit of Red Dragon, if you remember that film, in the night vision goggles and all that. So he's this is a proper good villain for the story. Now, I've got to say, storytelling wise, now I know I did say this artwork wasn't impressing me in the first issue. But I've got to admit, this guy can lay out sequential art. Stuff like this, without any word balloons, just with the colorist, just at night time, with stuff like this, absolutely superb. It really has impressed me, I will say. Really, this has got better and better. We're on issue 3, so maybe halfway through, almost, and it's an X-File in a way. But the guy who's committing these murders, they've got a clue. This month they've got one more clue. We all saw it coming last month in issue 2, but obviously the interest in the story, the intrigue of the story, is that we see it just ahead of these two, and that it's beautifully timed, and the artwork just it does suit the style now. And this is our main protagonist getting away in the background, which I enjoyed. Nicely done. So I do recommend this book. It's a bit of a thriller, right? You'll get vibes of Seven, Red Dragon, X-Files, all that kind of stuff is thrown in. And wonderful cover. And Mad Ghost, same guys who do Junkyard Joe through Image. So nice imprint. Right, so this is... I can't help it, guys. I'm sorry. I can't help it. But this is rivaling Exo Manowar as Book of the Week again. If Batman turning up at a graveyard as an opening page doesn't impress anyone, then I don't know what. And when it is so beautifully and meticulously drawn, this artwork is I could look at this kind of artwork all day long. This is the kind of artwork that creates legends of comic artists. This is your Neil Adams. This is your Michael Kalutas. This is your, I'm not going by style now, but this is your Kirbys and your Ditkos and your Ditko and Spider-Man. This is what inspires people to just turn the page and read comic books. If that one page doesn't give you chills reading a Batman book, then I don't know what. Is going to. Now we're on issue. This is the penultimate issue. Last month we was introduced to our very, very gothic villain. Very gothic indeed. It really did take a gothic, which will demand rereading it from the beginning. And I'm pretty sure, look, if this isn't some kind of goth's fever dream, I don't know what is. Love it. Absolutely love it. I love Batman Gothic. I really do. I really, really do. And Joker's part of the machinations, and so is Harley. Bless her. I say so is Harley Quinn, but she's just she's just being manipulated by Joker as usual. But what a wonderful new villain this is. And I hope that somehow by the end of this, she is still a Batman villain in the subterranean Gotham City. I really hope so. I really do. Because I think Silvestri has created a great villain. Colouring, look at this stuff. Look at this stuff. Silvestri is... Obviously, I'm not trying to give away too much of the story, because if you can't... Batman is relying on his detective skills and his ingenuity to get away from this villain. She is a formidable opponent. Which is what we like to see. And he needs, not only does he need Gordon, but he needs Joker and Harley on his side. which is a wonderful thing. How it's been weaved into the story. This is just absolutely beautiful stuff. And the colourist, I've got to check it, apologise. Colours by Arif Prianto, wow. And Troy Pietri doing the lettering as well, where it demands a different tack with the lettering. You know, like when Joker's speaking and stuff like that. Yeah, this is it's book of the week all day long, and I'm just gonna let everyone savour. I hope that's coming out properly. Just let everyone savour the inked artwork of Mark Silvestri. What look at this. Look at that. I mean, come on. And it looks like, I don't know if this means that he's still doing this on board with pencil and ink. I'd love to think he is. This, sorry I skipped this page, but look at what it takes to just to delineate this old wedding dress that our villain. Look at this stuff. Look at the line work on this. It reminds me of Bernie Wrightson in his latter days when he was doing the Frankenstein stuff. And I know that Frank Cho does a lot of this, you know, just this wonderful line work. Beautiful. But that was my, yeah, okay guys, okay. I'm going to call it, it's my channel, so I can do what I want. And I'm going to call it a tie. Because I've called this the book of the week before, I'm going to call it a tie. All right? And I'm going to say that these two books, Mad, Weird and Wonderful, A Beautiful Batman Story, they're books of the week. But covers of the week, I've got to say, I know it has been a slim week, guys. It has been a slim week. I think for the Gothic, I think for Batman, Joker and our new villainess, that was last week, but I know as covers go, but I've got to say there's something about, I think ever since Red Dragon, the movie, there's something about night vision goggles that I think is intense. It's intense, and you can, when you look at an image like that, it's almost like you hear in your ears like the noise that when the night vision goggles are powering up. But I've got to say, if I've got to choose, you know how much I love Liam Sharp. But apologies again, guys. But I've got to say that's going to sell in issue 1 all day long. But art-wise, accomplishment-wise, yeah, it's Mark Silvestri all day long. I've got to admit, I'm doffing my cap to this guy. I really am. And what DC are doing with these beautiful, like all this is gloss. I don't know if this comes out on the camera. All this is matte in the background, and this is gloss. She is gloss. No, that is my cover of the week, and I will leave it there until next week. By the way, next week will be late because in England, as it is everywhere, I suppose, in all of the Christian countries, it is Easter weekend. So that puts the delivery day a couple of days back. And just a little thank you to everyone that gives me a little like and a share and a subscribe and a comment, particularly comments and likes. Love you guys and girls for recommending me, for sharing my videos. Please continue to do so, because way down here at the bottom of the rung of the ladder, YouTube isn't going to help us. It's only you guys that can help us out, and that is with likes and comments mainly. Subscribes if you want to go mad. And on that note, I will bid everyone adios.